people, welcome back to 996. The Howl, one of the worst days being a Coyotes fan today. Really rough. Start to the day, middle of the day. A lot of dread, the human mind, the way it works. It just goes immediately. Worst case scenario, is a team even going to be in Arizona for the new season? Have we seen the last game played in Arizona? It doesn't help all the speculation by everyone on social media. Social media was a mistake. Even in my head, what do I do? Do I follow the team? I love the players. At the end of the day, this is hockey. It's a sport. I love the players on this team. I love the prospects. I'm loving the direction they're going. I think it's a really good direction. They're doing it right. They're doing it organically and naturally. So logically, I would follow the team. But honestly, man, it would be a rough scenario. And thankfully, it got cut immediately sometime in the afternoon with statements from Alex Morelos saying moving forward, his plan is to stay in Arizona, and the confirmation they will be playing at the Mullet Arena for the upcoming season. So, what does that say? You read between the lines. It tells me, well, we all know Bettman wants his team to stay in Arizona. Ownership wants his team to stay in Arizona. Those are things that never happened before with teams like Atlanta and relocation teams before then. Ownership didn't want the team, the NHL didn't want the team there, it wasn't a right fit, team gets kicked out, what have you. This time all parties want the team in Arizona. They finally have a stable ownership with deep pockets that wants to spend billions of dollars for it to stay in Arizona. They just gotta find a new plan, a plan B, not as viable of an option as the original plan, which would have happened with the voting that went yes. And so we go to, that's probably for sure now we're going to get that extra option for a third year at Mullet Arena. It could be extended. It took over a year for this proposal to start to get going, and the plans and the detailed plans. Maybe the next plan is a bit faster. Maybe they're working behind the scenes. I don't think so. But, any other option, they don't have to spend 9 months cleaning a landfill. So you never know. It could be faster. Could be, less money as well. Maybe renovating an existing arena. You never know. But Craig Morgan reported that he's talked to people in the organization, and their plan moving forward is to stay in Arizona. So we go to, digesting the voting. Everyone was blindsided by this. Everyone was caught off guard. The whole fan base. There was not one person I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to go no. For sure, the 5 minutes leading up to the 8 p.m. results, the anxiety kicks in, shaking, your heart is in your throat. We've been here before, but we all thought this was going to be different. The plan was so sound. They dotted their I's, crossed their T's. It was a perfect plan and proposal. They lost it on the politics side of it, and I didn't even really think of this as a problem. I thought, because based on the amount of detail and thought going into this proposal, no taxpayer money, for sure the city is using an economic tool used to defer some property tax so it can make it more digestible to purchase this piece of land. They use this tool, it's called a GIPLET, for numerous developments, even on the Tempe Town Lake itself. It's a commonly used Arizona tool. I thought the Arizona Coyotes did a really good job. They're going to pay for cleaning it up. They were doing all the right things, but just the politicking, it didn't go the way as planned. Even their internal polling showed the Coyotes were going to win this by like 57% to 43%. The results were the complete opposite. The opposition, all they do is politics. They knew exactly what to do. They were lobbied by, labor unions. The conspiracy theory is Sky Harbor was involved. One of the persons at the debate, she's opening up a new store. She owns a bookstore chain. One of them's opening up in the new terminal in Sky Harbor. That was announced like a week after the debate. Just the other side knew exactly what to do. The other side spent $2 million in A, spreading misinformation, B, getting to the people early, and getting to the right people. The opposition started in December. The Coyotes wanted to start in February, March, after the holidays, after the Super Bowl, just to make it top of mind. Turns out that wasn't a wise idea. And the problem with going after the opposition, if the opposition's already been to the people and put the seeds in their minds, it's up to you to go and change their minds, which is harder than just presenting ideas and facts to people fresh. I didn't really think that through at all. I don't think any of us did. I just thought this wasn't a politics issue at all. It was just a good arena deal, a good deal for the city. I do think the city voted wrong. I think they're gonna wish they haven't voted this way. I think they were deceived by the opposition. There's gonna be no new jobs created. That's not just the hockey arena. That's restaurants, shopping centers, the apartment buildings, music venue, the practice rink. No revenue is going to be generated by this piece of land. It's currently a landfill dump that has caught on fire. It's not going to be cleaned up. And what the opposition said, they didn't even come with an alternative plan. All they said was, we just don't want this Coyotes deal and think of something else. They didn't even come forth with a new idea. So this land, it's already been a landfill for like 70 years. It's just going to keep staying the same. It could have generated revenue, could have created new jobs. It could have been cleaned up and paid for by a private business. But, all that is not going to happen. And it's not just on the voters being deceived. The Coyotes organization, they're maybe a bit overconfident and arrogant in the politicking. If you look at the results and the voting percentages by age and area of Tempe, like 10% of registered voters aged 18 to 24 voted. Only 10% of that age group voted. Only 14% of people aged 25 to 34 voted. So that's, from 18 to 34, that was not even half of the registered votes sent in. It was all older people. It was all people over 65 years old, 75 plus as well. 60% of registered voters in Tempe that were between 65 and 74, they voted. 67% of registered voters that are 75 or older, they voted. If you look at the heat map of where all the votes came from, they're like 12 miles south from the proposed site, all the way down barely Tempe. It's like bordering the mountains way south, 12 miles south of Tempe, and the proposal of the site. The site itself, the surrounding areas, barely got on the heat map. So it was just a fumble and a blunder by the organization in terms of just canvassing and mobilizing voting presence and getting young people to vote. I don't know if it's because it's the summer and most students went away, but you can mail vote, so I don't know if that's an issue. I'm sure there's some other electronic ways to vote, or some way if a student is on holidays or home for the summer, some way where they can vote. Just felt like the guys didn't do that good job of just getting the votes in their back pocket. I mentioned previously, this organization, Alex Morello and Javier Gutierrez, they've got hands in so many industries. The radio industry, they got to deal with the FCC. They're in the restaurant business, you got to deal with the FDA. They're in the gambling, gaming business, you got to deal with gambling rules and licenses and all that fun stuff. One blind spot with them is politics. They're not politicians. I didn't dig deep into their history, but I don't think they've ever been through this referendum or a vote like this, or a politics situation like this. They just fumbled it hard and the opposition beat them, and they got to go back to the drawing board and go through with that plan B. Obviously, we don't know what that new plan is because it needs to be talked through the NHL first, and then they can publicly say what the plan is. That's why you don't hear yet what the actual plan is. They're in talks with the NHL. We'll probably won't hear anything for about a week or two. It could be even after the playoffs, just to not distract the playoffs going on. But we're back to just sitting and waiting, inhaling a lot of hopium and copium. And Coyotes fans have been here before. We have 1 year, another year least on this Arizona life. And hopefully, Javier comes out and releases a good statement. Maybe Alex Morello releases a statement. I don't think so. He's already said he's committed to AZ moving forward. So maybe Javier could ease us a little bit. He's a well-spoken, knowledgeable, confident speaker that really eases the anxiety for fans. So hopefully we hear from him soon. And let's maybe just get back to hockey, talk about the draft, and focus on hockey and the sport. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.